Hello, High Esoterica viewers. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for the last week of February 2026, and I'll be using the Body Tarot by Emma MacArthur. I set the intention for an amazing reading for clarity for this last week of February for the collective. Just need 7 cards. How does this week begin? 1 card at a time would be nice. Middle of this week, how does that go? Oh, it all came out. 2 more cards. How does this week end? Last week of February 2026. Oh, that one. I need to get one. All right, let's see what we have. I only had 1 card to flip over. Everything else came up face up. This is the last week of February 2026. If you are new to my channel, I always read the definitions given by the author and the artist as they create their own interpretation of the tarot. I will also add any other information that I know the cards to mean and channel any other information that comes through in the reading. Just because you see cards sitting where they are in potentially these 7 days of this last week of February, know that energy comes in fast, slow, or lingers, and that might be why you want to watch the previous videos just to see if there is other energies still lingering from the previous weeks. Just because you see cards upright or reverse, know that you can tap into both the positive or negative aspects depending on how you are perceiving your own life. Let's begin this last week of February with the energy of the 6 of water. In the traditional tarot, this is the Suit of Cups. It is associated with love and relationships, emotional health, sex, and desire. Color therapy for this energy would be blue and black, and it is associated with the kidney and the bladder. The 6 of water. Keywords: innocence, bliss, confidence. If you have seen a child dancing with no self-consciousness, you have witnessed the energy of this card. It is a joyful, innocent, blissful pleasure that we should all be able to access whenever we want. However, as adults, we forget this legacy and we become terribly serious. This card gives you permission to release any starchy regard for what people think and dance like no one is watching. This might be difficult to do if you've kept yourself buttoned up for a long time, but you may find that situations arise now that give you the same kind of emotional joy. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Oh, I love that. Emotionally tap into that inner child and go play. The next energy coming in, the 7 of wood. Traditional tarot suit, this is the swords associated with intellectual pursuits, career thoughts, mental processes. Its color is green and associated with the liver and the gallbladder. And I do see a lot of this wood energy in this last week of February. The 7 of wood, keywords: liberation, solitude, freedom. Sometimes you need to do things in your own way. Not everyone will understand, and some may even accuse you of not being a team player. Yet you know why you dance to the beat of your own drum. The music is better. Don't feel like you have to conform to anyone else's expectations. In fact, sometimes being on your own schedule can liberate you enough to have really great, life-changing ideas. You may have to return to the fold to convince others to buy into your idea, but inspiration strikes when you're on your own. I really like this definition, dancing to the beat of your own drum. Listening to your own inner voice and following that guidance is going to lead you to where you're supposed to be, where you're meant to be, who you really are. The next energy supporting that, we have the 3 of wood. Keywords: sadness, heartache, loneliness. But the reversed energy is coming in stronger, so take heart as I read this definition. There is a saying that into every life some rain must fall, and no card indicates this more than the 3 of wood. There is sadness here, but the state of sadness implies that there is also such a thing as non-sadness, or even, dare I say it, happiness. So while this may be a difficult time, you have the seeds of your own recovery in the dried out husk that you are presented with. Take heart and know that things will get better. Often the 3 of Swords is represented with a heart and 3 swords going through it. And I feel that it is just about your choices, your decisions, choosing between wonderful things that you love. Often a hard choice if you are really unable to make that selection. So no, these are just your thoughts. You don't need to doubt yourself because you always know the right answer. The next energy coming in is the thyroid gland. In the traditional tarot, this is the Hierophant, and that would actually be the best card to know the answer to this, because the Hierophant is going to tell you to go within. Keywords: community, beliefs, learning, society. The element is water. The thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland at the front of the neck. It regulates metabolism and balances hormones. It contributes to an overall sense of well-being. In the way that the thyroid is key in promoting harmony in the body, a single person who selflessly gives of their time is key to a happy community. This card represents the coming together of the current with others for positive outcomes, whether that is through a spiritual organization, such as a church, a youth group, or neighborhood scheme. There is a strong sense of learning within this card, linking it to younger people. However, it is not just the young who need education. Lifelong learning should be the aim of every evolving being. If you're now being approached with an opportunity to learn, the appearance of this card bodes well for the experience being a good one. This card might also suggest that you have been feeling isolated. The only way out of that is to connect with others. No matter how fearful of rejection you might be, it may be time to spread your wings and push out of your comfort zone. Ooh, interesting. That could be the answer to making this decision, is finding that within your group, within your sphere of influence, and aligning that with your beliefs. The next energy is the Nine of Wood. Keywords: worry, sleeplessness, fretting. Again, the energy of the reverse of this is stronger, so the more positive aspects would definitely be more attainable for all of us. Spending time fretting never got anything resolved. The American theologian Reinhold Niebuhr wrote the Serenity Prayer, asking God to grant him the serenity to accept that which he couldn't change, courage to change what he could, and wisdom to know the difference. The prayer, even if you're an atheist, is a handy one to remember if this card comes up. We must not expand our energies in worrying about things that can't be changed. Lay down the burden and set yourself free, knowing that this is the air element of swords, that in the reverse, the Nine of Wood, the Nine of Swords, would be knowing that you have all of the information that you need and that you can rest with your decision. So take that positivity and let's move to the next energy. Another major arcana card, the Diaphragm. Traditional tarot card, the Wheel of Fortune. Keywords: change, movement, luck, and fate. The element is metal. The diaphragm is a muscle that facilitates your breathing. It is what allows us to breathe in and out. It supports the cycle of the breath, and as such, this card supports the cycle of life. If there is one constant in life, it is change. We know that we aren't able to stay children forever, and nor should we want to, given that adulthood brings its own joys. We may or may not choose to date and marry and have children of our own, but what is not a choice is the fact that we age, and so life stages will come up to meet us, even if we have not prepared for them. How far you embrace the energy of this card will depend on your feelings about change, because this is the card that turns things upside down. The out-breath must naturally follow the in-breath. Stagnation is bad for everyone. So even if the changes that are coming are not to your liking, you may well look back on this time as a defining period in your life. Alternatively, if you are going through a bad time, this is a wonderful indication that things are about to change. The Wheel of Fortune is ever turning, and good times will be here again. This too shall pass. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune card. I'm just going to say it's a really beautiful progression to go from this 9 to this 10. It tells me that we are definitely going in the right direction with this Wheel of Fortune, definitely ready to come up because we definitely know all that we need to know. So stop worrying about it and just breathe, because everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for all of us. We don't have a choice. That is life, and it is change. And if anything, change is constant. I'm excited to see another 10, the 10 of wood. And we're staying in that energy of this completion and then expansion. 10 of wood, keywords: health, nourishment, support. 10s are cards of completion, and so are a handy way of checking if a particular outcome is likely to come to pass. Always bearing in mind that we have free will, and so nothing is ever a foregone conclusion. Wood is the practice of feng shui. It is the element that relates to health and self-knowledge. So a 10 in this suit can mean that you can access great healing in both body and mind, allowing the spirit to feel nourished and supported. Oh, that is so beautiful. I truly love that. February, still in that beginning of the new year where we are all about the resolutions to our better selves, and better health is always at the top of that list for each and every one of us. And just an incredible message. I'm going to pull a oracle card from You Are Possum. I set the intention for clarity for all of us for this last week of February. Just one card. Ooh, and it fell down. Challenge self-doubts. We are prisoners of our own minds. Recall past successes. Identify underlying fears. Change negative thoughts. Focus on your strengths and efforts. Step by step, defeat your doubts. Oh, that is so perfect. We have so much inner wisdom right here with the Hierophant, and this 7 of wood would have been challenges to your knowing, to your beliefs, and challenging those self-doubts. Making the decision and choosing your direction and having the support of the Hierophant and also the blessings of the 9 of wood and the Wheel of Fortune and the 10 of wood. Don't let your doubts keep you from all this amazing completion and then expansion in your life, especially as we go further into 2026. Oh, I really love it. I'm really excited about this amazing year that is bringing good fortune for all of us. We are in energies that no one's really ever seen before, so it's really exciting as all of our planets align, as all of our energies are shifting to this new version of who we always were meant to be. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for subscribing. I send all of you love and blessings to achieve all of the success in your own life. Thank you again. Much love and light. I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye for now.